Check the link. It's now live. That's right. Yeah, that. Let's put it into Famalam. Bear with me. Let's.
Do we gotta do, bro? Just sort me a bit of malt loaf out.
Malt loaf?
Let
me think. Is that what you put butter on? Is it dark black
yeah,
malt
that's
loaf?
it. That's it.
No. Doreen.
That's it.
Oh,
I do a banana one. It's bloody lovely.
Other such malt loaves are available.
Absolutely.
Buller cake. That's an old speed ghost by the explicit.
Oh my! Shouldn't put
We're
me
now live
in
on Tube, so just
Jamaican ginger cake.
That's all
Buller
I'm going to say.
It's very nice.
I'm just kidding.
Live on Tube. Oh,
live on Tube.
Goodness.
We're chirping on Tube and we're live. And
I didn't wipe my ass this morning. No.
I'm not even going to apologise or anything for you.
I don't. There's appalling things happening. Well, crikey Moses, if somebody's offended by something that I may say like a F or a Jeff or a little uncouth remark, remember that babies are dying. As you say that, as you get angry at that, I'd get angry at something else instead. I'd redirect that anger to why are there bombs dropping on children?
It's dissonance, yes.
So, I apologise though beforehand. I ain't no perfect person, man.
Yes, Angela, hello, good evening, sister. Have I missed it? No, we've just started. We had a little test cast in the unlisted. That went well. We had 4 viewers. We've got 9 now. Look, we've been to see what I mean. That's why I was like, this is not normal, but we did well. No. It worked. We had a test cast in the private, unlisted, linked from the .com, and now we wanted to come and say hello to you guys. I'm in Sheffield with Brother M.
Good evening. Salutations of all the nominations. I don't know where that came from.
Salutations, greetings of all.
I was going to say namaste, hello, and then go through loads of different ones, but then it's all that.
Here's the spoken word.
Salutations in whatever languages.
Double tap.
Bonjour.
And,
no.
Oh yeah, Andy, I forgot Andy's here. Oh, hello, yes.
Well, I was looking at that thing and I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's got his screen held up to his cheek.
Fell down, hasn't he? Andy, have you fell down?
Shall we phone 999, Andy?
You ain't got no credit, mate.
I never have credit. It's a good job, that.
Yeah, but anyway, it's an auxiliary service of which is provided courtesy of what? The state. No payment is needed to dial that number. Anybody needs to know, yeah. Paid, subsidised.
We paid for it, built it.
Subsidised.
Died building it.
What should we talk about, guys? Anybody have anything to say? Gumshoe, I did put a shout out in the .com and the Facebook. We had a little private link that the forums out and see what you think. The elusive Andy. Gumshoe says the elusive Andy. Hear this, brother.
Any lesser spotted?
Private.
He's gone. He's removed his person's profile from the domain of such book of faces.
No, give us a knuckle.
Yes, mate. I was overloaded, mate. People coming to me for everything regarding absolutely everything in my phone. Had to be constantly plugged in to keep any sort of a battery life in there. So I'm busy doing my own stuff. I've got my own current affairs. So.
Yeah. Don't need that distraction. That's good. People have to remember.
I'm over on the private domain. I'm on splspro.com. So I've got my little forum and I'm going to build up. So you can catch me in and out of there.
Yeah. I just don't like Facebook. I think Mark Zuckerberg looks weirder every time I see a picture of him.
Oh, you're a bit quiet there.
I said I don't like Facebook or I don't like Mark Zuckerberg.
or whatever other face that they wish to put in front of it or in front of the trust.
Oh, this is what I'm saying. Every time I see it, it looks a bit more strange every time.
More
Oh, no.
robotic-like, you mean? More alien-like.
Yeah, his eyes look like weird. I saw something the other day, and I thought,
Yeah.
that don't, he don't look.
More like AI.
And, yeah, he just looks effed up.
Alien
I censored myself, Dave. Are you proud?
artificial intelligence or alien intelligence. That's a hot topic of mine right now. I've been doing some research into self-replicating nanotechnology that has got impervious hardness to it, much like a diamond would. I'm like, say that again. Yes.
Absolutely.
Algorithms that
Have you
we've
heard
talked
of the
about.
grey gloop theory?
1 minute. The algorithms that we've talked about are also being used by the NHS and the UK police at the moment, and that will be in the constabulary district of Durham. And they are currently what we'll call it pioneering, for want of a word, technology to see if offenders will repeat or to see if they'll need any kind of management or rehabilitation after the representation at the judiciary. So the judiciary, I'm researching it extensively. I've just found it, but the judiciary take the recommendation from the AI, and it stands as if it was a real person giving it you, and you are judged by
It's
it
just automation.
and given direction.
Automation's gonna,
Check that.
Every
What?
aspect of every
yield.
aspect is going to be automated, and it is already
Mhm.
being automated. And,
But with the automation comes the assumptions and the presumptions of the public and common law. That's where we can remove all them.
they can't stop it. And yeah, it's just like I went to pay for there's a petrol station here. I don't go in that very often, but it's a BP, busiest one in Sheffield. And now I went to pay.
Oh,
I paid my money. She took my money, but this little thing spat change out. I'm like, oh right, that's my money then. Oh, fair enough. And I just took it. And,
That,
like, oh, Christ.
and that's why bees fly with their legs crossed, waiting to get to the BP station.
BP. But no, I thought she's
Dad
out of her
jokes.
job soon.
Dad jokes are out. Oh, they dad jokes are out. Come on then. Oh, that's it. No, you shouldn't have done that on a live platform. We're trying to talk law, and now it's all gone out the window for dad jokes. Good job, Bog's not here, or it'd be Pun Master Central.
I
Right
thought we
now.
were talking about everything.
Yeah, we are. Yes, yeah, but no, the AI, the algorithms. Like now, yeah, you get assessments by the DWP guys, and that's going to be using algorithms, and we're getting assessed and digital assessments or data. It's basically being gold
Data-based.
You are not a person. You are your person is what they use. The man, the woe man, the womb man is there present, the creditor, but you are not recognised. You are not dealt with, and you are signing for the corporate fiction entity, and it's getting out of control. If
everything, any app you get, it says terms and conditions. You can't have that app if you don't agree. But
that's right.
So everything.
Oh wait,
but apps aren't bad. But everything. Go on.
This lady today said she doesn't consent to the NHS data policy privacy, and she said to me today that whilst we was discussing like privately an issue, I said, well, what we do is we get in touch with the data controller. Remember that word, data controller, with the DWP or the something care association that she may be with or may not be with, and such, and we remove that consent. And then she's reading it out, the terms and conditions of this corporation's policy. This isn't law, it's corporation's policy, and it says if you don't consent to your data being shared, the services are not to be given. I went, read that again. I says, no, they've got to be equal opportunities, and they've got to, you're disabled and this, that, the other, and this, whatever. So they've got to consider these options, and you've got mitigated circumstances. And if they're going to use your data against you to stop you getting a service, you're not going to give it, are you? It's like when an officer says, give me your name and details. What? So you can use them against me to try and prosecute me? No, I'll tell you they're my persons, and I'll keep that liability afforded to the person. Here are my person's details. What do you want them for? We're not contracting, are we? There's no crime here. Are you local? It's crazy.
I shall not be furnishing your requirements this day. Thank you. Goodbye.
Housing,
data,
housing, education, food, the healthcare. These are all services that should be by now, with technology that's about, being delivered to every single person, every single body, spirit, flesh and blood, fucking being on this planet. free of charge. There's no reason whatsoever why we should be paying anything. Why money should be existing. You know, it's just,
We know this. Still, the perpetual distance debt system will continue, mate. It will roll forth one way or the other, whether it's cashless or whether it's Android, whether it's Wi-Fi.
Oh, yes, it will.
we're not unless we stop it.
Let me get you some video links, Room. I've got an excellent video that's going to prop you all of your craniums. If the governor's cranium if the governor's cranium was reaching limits watching this, I know I don't mean to sound funny, but this is like one of the most in-depth best videos I've seen. What was I looking for? I don't know now. I found it, but I'm going to post it in. Yeah, go on. Complete history of the Anunnaki and Palladian gods it was by accident. I just thought I'll have a look at that, and I was quite stunned by the amount of bulls and moons and history and things. That's where I got all that from the other night. I just watched that. Carry on. I'm getting a link from.
I lost my finger now, but basically, yeah. No, it can all be changed. It can all be changed, and then you don't need these legal systems, and it can be just taken away. Everything.
Well, it's instrumentation. It's how you implement your instrumentation.
Oh yeah, I've been thinking about these things, and there's all these people in job centres, and yeah, they can do jobs. It's just we take money out of the equation. What's that video? Will work for free. It's excellent.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. We covered it. Yeah, billions in change.
Through and yeah, but no, and the same people say we need money system. We don't need it. The only thing you get with money system is just deception. That's what.
If it's used correctly,
that's what all this straw man and all this everything else is. You might like it, but we've not grown up in like India or Africa or Guatemala or any of these places. They're flooding out border to America. Do you know why? Because their country's been made. Money system. Money system creates all that. You have to stab. You have to rob. There's no nation that can be. We're all doing it. They're all doing it. England's robbing stuff. They're opening gold mines in Afghanistan. You know what I mean? How did they get that gold mine? They got that contract. They got that thing because they got control of that land militarily.
It's called occupation. They occupy. They're an occupier. It's military, isn't it? They occupy. So they have a state occupation in a foreign land and a foreign military policy, war policy.
It evolves whether we like it or not. And it just at the moment, everything gets used against us.
And it's disappeared.
Oh, fuck that. But everything gets used. Just everything gets used against us. That's why I just laugh at him. A bit like George Carlin, like that. Sit back and watch. Because it's I know it needs to be done, but nobody's willing to do it. But you don't need to vote peacefully. It's just demand. You just educate yourself on what technology is available, what's possible in this reality that we're in. And you're getting shown it all day. You're getting shown it all the time. You're getting new technologies. They've just been talking about that AI, but all in this system, it's all used against us. It's all used literally against us. But there's many, there's loads of stuff. TripAdvisor, that website and that technology, that had been the main computer system. You'd say, I want to live in this country for 4 months in this place, and they'll find you accommodation. It's just, money needs to be took out of this equation.
And what I'm going to do, what we're doing, is trying to show you that whilst they're going to start the automation of technology, and we're not getting shown how to use the private side of the assets that we have. So your signature is not your signature; it's your person's. It's your equitable asset. You have the creditor and you have the debtor facility and option and status and capability. Luckily for us, at this moment in time, there isn't a fiscal or massive recession on. We are facing austerity, and what pisses me off is, sorry to swear, but when the government come out and say there's no money and there isn't any bonds and there isn't sufficient backing of anything or liquidity in the market or None of you have got, not many of you will have a power of attorney. Why haven't any of you appointed a power of attorney? This is a serious question. If anything happens to you in law, you have nobody to take over your estate, your well-being, your current possessions. It's in your legal person's name under the blah, blah, blah. But, that's very important to do. The money side of it, who you are, the man and the woman, we say the man, not to be disrespectful, sister, but it just saves time. But the man is in control of that. And if you don't know how to manage your estate, this system is deceptive. This system is to somewhat extent fraudulent, and it is soulless. But there is a system there of which is allowing us to get an escape out of which we have found. So it doesn't have to result in people going, man, which are people at the time, the Walking Dead, going out there and robbing, stabbing, shanking, burning, taking control. What we can do is just calmly and intelligently go, right, the system is failing. We've been shown another way. It involves your prints. It involves a little bit of thinking, and it involves a little bit of lateral. We'll call it, what do we used to call it? Kung fu for the mind. We've got some kung fu for the mind for you, and it's about how you would like to next consider how you defend the attack or claim made in a legal capacity on your person. And if you'd like to go in your pocket and get your sweat equity out, which is your cash, your Bank of England central bank notes that you earn through, your sweating, your sweat equity credits, then you give that to the equity thieves. But there is equity. There's equity all over the place. I also like to link on, just hold fire, to the NHS. There's been a report out about the NHS and the similar systems around the world of late, and the NHS has been deemed to be doing okay. But it turns out that report is a United Kingdom report, a Commonwealth report, we'll call it. The non-Commonwealth report puts the NHS at the lower part of the world's performing hospitals. Let me think. Germany has more beds than us. We have a third less beds or something. Germany has a third more beds than what we do. Don't quote me on this. I'll get the stories and put them in later. And we have more doctors. Here we go. We have more senior doctors compared to Germany. We have 4 to their 1. And our senior doctors are all stood about getting high amounts of money and high wages when that could be trimmed down to effectively manage a similar system, which is a different model, and manage it with some kind of privatisation and insurance running alongside it. Now we have a national insurance. As soon as our UK government says, oh, we require everybody to mandatory have an insurance policy before we give you any treatment, then we'll just draw upon the person's national insurance number, which is indemnified due to that, and we'll get you to use that, with the correct capacity. But our hospitals are doing badly. There's an extra part of the report says, how well do the UK hospitals do with cancer? We do very badly. We do really bad. The UK cancer rate is so bad. Then we look at how well we do with fixing folk, and we do really badly at that. And to top that off, whilst I'm on a roll, I've just said this on the private hangout, but I've posted in the Facebook group, then I'm going to put it over to Brother M and some comments in the room about the stories that I've been posting recently regarding the Health Minister Jeremy Hunt coming out and apologising for another trust's issues in 1991, nearly 30 years ago, leading up till present day, where they've had inquiries and they've found out that there was mass issues with the drugs that was issued to the patients in the amounts and the quantities, and it's been elderly were going into this hospital. I'll get you the name momentarily and the source for that, and they were going in 450 approximately since 91, and concerned relatives were then firing back saying, hey, oh, laddos, no uncles or granddad, his grandma, elderly, are no longer with us, they've passed away. They went in for a routine non-fatal operation, and they never made it back. So they never made it back because the hospital trust was failing massively. Gosport, Gosport. I'm going to post a link in now from the Independent. When I posted this, it was quite fresh, this story. It's some hours old, but it's over 30 years, the span of it. Disgusting and absolutely unbelievable. Here you go. Don't just believe me, and go and search on other search engines about that and the story and the length of time. I'm helping somebody on YouTube called Dodgy Doctors. He's having over a 20 similar year issue, and he's been on the Mark Thomas comedy product, of which I've shown you. I'm going to put the link in again because this is truly amazing piece of history. This is what we do. It's on the website. We don't give up. We carry on. The system wants you to check out, to commit suicide. It really treats you badly. Look at that for some history and issues, and here we are. running around shouting England at the World Cup over Russia, but yet we live in the United Kingdom, don't we? You know, and we've got these guys going England to come back, and they start filling forms out and signing for UK again. But the UK is not a landmass; it's a trust. England is a landmass, but it's under a jurisdiction. Well, I can't argue we're on Anglo soil, for want of a better terminology. But I'm going to shut up, Matt. Have you got anything you want to say? I'm going to yield.
Oh. No, you've gone branched off, but
I did. I had a lot to cover there. A lot to cover from that.
It's all just pissing in wind. You're going to have the same problems. This is what people who say you don't need to get rid of the money system will be all right. You're in a dream world. Because how? Let me ask you this, right? Do you see any government around the world banning automation? Any? Put a poke, you know, put a comment if you know of one country, just one country that's banned automation. Yeah, and what you're going to find yourself demanding that a machine isn't made to take your job so you can do that job. You're going to demand, they will make you demand that you want to be a slave. I don't want that machine to do my job. Why? You could go off and think, no. Because you can't, in a money system, the machine takes your job, it takes your access to stuff away. But we could just get these machines to do these things to create an abundance of access for everybody, every single body. You know, other than that, you're just going to use a money system and have corruption in NHS in every aspect of all the services that you need to be provided to you. You know. That's why all rich kids go to university, and some middle class people they put the kids through there, they get them sent into debt. The kids get into debt. They end up, you know, who were it now? £37,000 on a legal course to be a lawyer, ends up working in a jewellery shop. The guy even told me it cost him that much to put his girlfriend through law university, and then she ended up working in a jewellery shop. You know. People can't get jobs in them industries, and it's just, I don't know, it's just what you get with a money system. Garbage in, garbage out. You got to run around. Have a look at that cartoon. Is it Asterix? Asterix. They have to pass these tests, doing these different tests. And one of them, they have to go and get this form in this bureaucratic type office, council type building. And yeah, it's just funny. Yeah, we're driving past where I used to go to school, the youth club and the all the field and that, it used to be a school, then a college, so a place of education, owned by the people, managed by the council, and yeah, it's been sold off now, and it's a retail park. You can get pets for home. There's a Costa Coffee, an Aldi, you know. They didn't build out that anybody can do. To go there, you've got to give up your access points. You know, if you haven't got access points, you don't get access.
That's right.
That's not a good system. And so, and by the way, when people do defend the money system and say that we need it, if I was the only one that could grow bananas, yeah, and I grew bananas, I give you 100 bananas. I'm only one that can grow them. If you grow them, you get put in prison. Yeah. Only I can grow the bananas. I give you 100 bananas and I say I want 150 bananas back. Only I can grow bananas, remember. How will you give me 150 bananas back? Of course, you'll have to borrow more bananas from me to pay those ones back. And that's how your financial money system works. That's why you have quantitative easing. That's why you have cyclical consumption. That's why we're just chewing this planet up and shitting it out. You know, and that's the only thing you can do in that system. That's your system. Yeah, break it down, have a look at it. That's your system. If there's any other ideas, all right, but you know, anybody's got ideas, bang them up there. You know. Well, if you've got that money, and that you're going to have greed and corruption.
Yeah, he's mentioned money there. So you have the Gold Insolvency Act, and you have in the 1960s, the removal of the silver, along with the etymology, and leaving us with a debased language and a currency system that no longer had any backing the Gold Insolvency Act. It's my turn now. The
One
Gold
second,
Insolvency
just with
Act
what you were
is,
saying.
the Gold Insolvency Act is what is well in relation to something else with regards to England and the Bank of England, the House of Rothschild and Windsor, should I say, the Bank of Rothschild and Windsor, is is the removal of the silver, which was the when you say money, money is backed by something of value. So now we have credit and we have like a currency. That's why when you hold a debt note up to the light, you see the watermark, the bond, that denotes the currency going through, the electricity moving through it, as we would
Are
explain.
you talking legal there when you're talking
No,
about
I'm
money?
just about.
No, I'm just saying when you talk
I would
about
like
money
a chance
system,
to speak after you.
Yeah.
So he's mentioned about the money, and then what we have currently going at the minute is a deceptive mechanism where we think that what's in our wallet is money, and we get it out and we exchange it for goods. But that money, when we look at it, is actually a promise to pay, and we now identify that as a federal bank, central bank reserve note, debt note. So that note that we collect and chase and stack up and put in the bank and then get back out and exchange for stuff is the debt paying for another debt. So we work out how a debt is allowed to pay, because that sounds insane to normal guys like us. When me and Matt started researching this, we're like, no, this is money, that's a debt. And then we worked out how the various acts and what they've done with the decimalisation and the intrinsic value, and we looked at the credit system and the money system, and we worked out that when we go out and we do a job, we work and we get hot and sweaty and tired because we do manual work, and we come home after the week and we've got some paper value in denomination of pound notes to go and work out what to give that to. But coming through the letterbox are demands, and they're demands, and we think they're for us to be paid with this alleged credit money, and they're not for us, and there is no money. So that's where our heads popped a little bit, and he's right with what he says. And all I've done is gone away with a few other indigos like workers, rainbows and crystals, and said, what is money? What is debt? What is intrinsic value? What is credit? What is cash? What is transfer? What is a promissory note? What is a negotiable instrument? What is, and then when we looked at it, they're all separate, but they are connected.
What is money?
And what we have is a choice. Money is gold. Why is money gold? Because it holds its weight. It's useful in medicine. It's useful in electronics.
It doesn't change.
It's
always
intrinsic.
The
it
same.
does a word.
It's
Intrinsic. It holds it never really fluctuates.
But what
we know
what
it's
I'm
good. It's good for your word. But listen, while we're talking about money and everything and value and that and bonds and this, that, the other, let me just check you this out now. This is the etymology part that really pops your fuses when you sit and you watch things like Chiron Last and you go, he says, man's word is his bond and man's worth is his bond. So when you start to compute, literally compute that our bond, my word is my bond, his word as a man, Matthew, is his bond, and that's our value. If I'm known to be a liar and a fabricator and a mischievous, stirrer, we'll call it an it stirrer, then you don't get any respect, you don't get any time, you don't get any interaction, you get nothing. If you are known to be honourable and full of intent and just and forthright, Andrew Sovereign Smith there with his just right and proper forum. That's how we operate in equitable means as the settler, as the king, as the honourable. He won't go around committing harm, injury and loss on nobody. I won't even squash a spider when our lass says, get it out, kill it. No, I don't even like standing on a slug. So my word is my bond, and that's of value in this world. Would you not argue? That's the truth.
I'd argue, but
truth, truth and honour is value.
I'd argue that if
with no truth and honour, you've got nothing. At
but your environment, like epigenetics, they used to say it other way around. Your environment controls your actions. Yeah, so you can have all the moral high ground, the moral high ground you want, all the morals. You could be a pure, devout Buddhist. You've never even killed a fly, an insect, a little tiny microorganism in your life. But when they close them supermarkets, when money, I know, sorry to keep banging on, but there's a point when it all goes tits up, and people are right in the streets. There's no food. I don't know if you've been looking at what's happening in Venezuela. I haven't seen it for a while because I've had my nose down grafting, my nose down proper grafting. But and I don't look at news. But last I heard in Venezuela, and this was last year, they were eating all the pets. They went under. Their economy crashed. Their money system, their currency system, tits up. Right? They were out looting everything. All good people were looting. All these good people with morals and whatnot were eating their pets. I could not imagine a situation that would make me eat my dog. Do you understand? They ate their own pets. They were eating, and then from that, they went to cats in streets, at rats in street, because people need to eat. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
So you can be as you can. Anybody can. They can say this, that, and your environment dictates your actions. So you've got to look to the future. You can't head blind. If you can't see what's coming, can't look at all these factories getting banged out. Amazon with Kiva systems, they purchase Kiva systems. It's the same kind of thing that's running these Google cars.
Amazon,
there's a taxi service in Germany,
NHS.
and
I'll talk about that after.
there's been 0 accidents. You can't compete with man. Having crashes, the fatalities, it's done however many miles. None of them in robots in warehouses have crashed because machines do things better. You see, you put your cordless on, you click that button, it goes anti-clockwise, you click that button, it goes clockwise. Engineers did all these things, you see. If you had to have a politician inside a cordless, fuck me, Jesus, what's happening? I'm just trying to tighten this screw. What's wrong? Keeps going the other way. And then it pulls it out, and then you go, you'd be
politician.
Can you imagine it? Politicians are in machines. These are people that's what I mean, cause all this stuff like in Venezuela. But when it comes here, that's what I mean. We're all thinking you've got your Netflix, but it's not going to be
Amazon
Netflix,
have invested. I'm going to try and find the link because I like to back up everything I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. So
Amazon,
why ain't any government?
I haven't finished.
No, I'm just saying while you're doing it. Oh, you're speaking and doing.
Yeah, Amazon have invested billions with the Scottish NHS. I heard there's a story fluttering about the background of echoes, and I'm going to try and find it. But what they're trying to do with the care and the support for our elderly and the isolated and certain others is install Alexa, install an iPad, and then cut off all the human interaction, deliver boxes so they can make their own food. And in some cases, they will have a human there, but they're trying to trim down everything for man to, in for all this austerity. Let alone there's all these billions on the unclaimed estates on these. Every time somebody dies and they put a capital name on the tombstone, which is the final ledger on your final act, is your exit out of this realm. And when we exit out of this realm, they put our name, our person's name, but the man is there, the body is there as well. To some extent, the trust family name is there. It's all capitalized, and that's your final act to exit this matrix. And what they do, this isn't me saying it's right, but this is what we understand now. With the unclaimed estate and with soldiers that they force to go to war when they conscript them and when they propagate wars and they make wars happen and the soldiers die. When anybody's doomed to death, and your final act is to die, they bury you, they put an all capital name, and that all capital name is on a block. That block is called a ledger. That ledger is also in what? Business terms, correct? Cha-ching. So that ledger is then used as the final act of man, and he died in a public capacity. When the man, they recognise you as a man now, I hear you cry. Yeah, funny that, isn't it? But when the man dies in the final act is that, and he's left the ledger as the capital name, what they do, someone in an office goes, oh, John Smith and Colonel such and such and Allison and David and Jeremy Eater and Smithy and that, have gone and the estates are there, so they just stamp, da-da-dum, and they claim and scoop and do this. When it's hundreds of soldiers, when you've dropped a bomb and do this, that, the other, or whatever it could be in the future that's coming, and we go into code red and martial law or whatever, these fabricated statutory codes against persons that are applicable when these type of scenarios come in and they go to DEFCON 1, all these things get claimed anyway by default as well. So if we don't get there, we're going to stand to lose them in a very short time.
This is what I was saying. This is all forced upon you.
You still have your rights.
We can force a system and demand a system that we want, but
it's crazy.
It's all this stuff is forced upon you, and that's what I said about when Dave was saying thing. I said, what is money? Because it used to be gold. You had gold and silver dollars, and you went to thingy, and you could get your weight of. You could take that paper and get your weight in gold in exchange for that. So it had backing, and that was true money. But even that's corruptible and no good in a technological. You needed the money system to get to where we. You know what I mean? But it should have been dropped long time since it's holding us back. It's like a massive ball and chain, trying to keep up with Usain Bolt. We're tied to a minute. But yeah, this is what in America they force the people to hand over their tangible of value money, and they gave them some paper.
Here we go.
They took all their gold, they took all their silver, and they said, if you don't hand it in, you're going to get done. You know what? You're stealing my gold and silver, and you're saying that I'm going to get done. What, you're trying to say I'm wrongdoing? And they would have legally done that. You know, that's why I don't subscribe to all that. It's just, you know, how can you take people's money off them? How can you take people's gold off them? How is that possible? But they did it. And they gave it.
What date's this? Let me check the
People
date.
keep making mistakes, and people in future will have to pay. We'll keep making mistakes, and people, kids in future will have to pay.
Right, I'll find it. So I need keywords.
You have to remember your healthcare system is a business. It's all based on pharmaceuticals, and there is no cures. There's only treatments. And they were a what were it? 17-year veteran at pharmaceutical industry. He says the pharmaceutical industry is not in the business. Is in the business of symptoms management and disease
Money traps.
maintenance or something like that. He said they're not in the business of curing cancers or out like that, because if they were, they'd be in the business of putting themselves out of business. That's a fact. Take that to bank. But no, I don't want no riots or out like that. I don't need to be riots. People need to talk about the issue at hand, which is that technological unemployment.
Can I read some corporate rubbish?
1 second. Yeah, technological unemployment. You talk about it, you get together with your brothers and sisters, and you work out a plan, and then you demand stuff, and that's how it happens. Peaceful. There's loads of people in job centres that can do your jobs. Remember when you're working 5 days a week, it could be working 1 day. Just the money, access, what? All right, I'll be a slave. Complain about them in job centre. NHS, and that's just purposely been done to the NHS. NHS should be running the business. If you've got too many customers, you open more premises, you see. And I waited 3 years for an operation and ended up having it done private. And as I was in that private hospital, I thought, so they're not going to build anymore. They're outsourcing. This operation will cost 3 times minimum what it would have cost the NHS to do if they'd have done it themselves. Built an hospital, done it. But not building them because it's a plan to run it in. That's why it's always in news. Oh, NHS this. Oh, NHS that. Oh, NHS this. Oh,
But what it's supposed to be at the minute is rich and poor alike can get a service that is the same. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or if you're just someone that's come off an aeroplane and you've got and you're an alien as such. You know, you still get service the same. But at the minute, things are changing. And if you've got money, you seem to get service. And if you've got no money, you seem to get left and put and get killed, as we're finding out. Stories to come on the .com and in here.
It's a plan. They purposely.
I'll prove what I'm going to say. I'll put the post in. I will prove what I'm going to tell you.
They're running it into ground, so people. That's why you got all adverts for Bupa. So people then go, "Oh, NHS is dodgy. Oh, I've had to wait. Oh, waiting list. Or I went on Bupa." I had someone say, "Oh, I went on Bupa. I weren't waiting that long." So they're forcing people to do that, and then slowly, everyone's got private insurance, private healthcare, and then NHS gets sold for a song.
See the Naylor report for getting sold. They're stripping the asset.
That's why they run it down into ground before they sell it. They're about to sell it.
It's an asset manager's, handbook. Asset stripping handbook. The Naylor report.
And they know exactly who they're selling it to. He's already, it's already a done deal. But it's just, it's all done in front of your eyes, but people don't do anything about it.
When's this from? Let me see. I like to see when it's from, but it says NHS special. What needs to give? Let me put the link in so anybody that wants to read it can. NHS special. What needs to give? A special debate on the current state of the NHS recorded in front of an audience at the BBC Radio Theatre, London. The last few months have seen the service creaking under unprecedented demand and there is likely to be worse to come. Something needs to give. It is simply a matter of more resources. Is it simply a matter of more resources, or do we also need to change our expectations of what the NHS provide? Is rationalisation and rationing the way forward? Dr. Mark Porter discusses the issues with a panel including Claire March, President of the Royal College of Surgeons, Chris Hopson, Chief Executive of NHS Providers, David Hastum, Chair of NICE, Professor Sir Nick Black, London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, and regular contributor Margaret McCartney, GP. Issues to be discussed include whether the NHS should continue to be free at the point of use. Is there too much bureaucracy with too many bosses? Was the internal market evidence based? Internal market evidence based? Has it worked and was it fair? Rationing of treatments, and can the NHS be taken out of politics? When we talk about the NHS,
I can't.
Sometimes when we talk about the NHS and we read stuff like this and open up a debate, it's almost like talking about a religion. It's like, oh, you can't talk about that. You can't. Yes, you can, and we will do. So I'll continue on, and then you can get in here. But there's a program here. I'm going to post you the link so you can listen to it. I heard it on the drive up, the travel up from Derby to Sheffield. The NHS is never far from the headlines, but the last few months have depicted a service in crisis. It has been made clear that there will be no more money from central government. What government? Central government, not from man, but from central government. So what needs to give? Claire Marks explained the angst of her members who wanted to operate on people, but had been forbidden to, not stopped, but forbidden to. So who forbid? That's the trustees, I imagine, principals. Nick Black discussed the types of surgery that were now being placed off limits due to not quantitative easing, due to what we call austerity, when we've all got bonds and thumbs and credit and creditor and can offset and pay this. So that's a bit harsh, isn't it? Forbidding instead of, man can't be forbidden, but obviously people had been having man had had his operations forbidden. Nick Black discussed the types of surgery that were now being placed off limits, like hip replacement surgery, even though they were very cost effective because of the way hospitals are funded. It is these useful operations that are being stopped, rather than the much less cost-effective prescription of some very expensive cancer drugs. Oh dear. Chris Hopson described tensions between the expectations being placed on the NHS to provide excellent care despite the funding gap to actually provide it. I don't know how you're going to provide something when you've got no money, because we can't do that, and we try to do that in a sovereign capacity. And David Haslam, Chief Executive of NICE, expressed his disquiet that patients could no longer expect a consistent service across the NHS. Why can't we expect a consistent service across the NHS? Instead, different clinical commissioning groups decided themselves how many rounds of IVF to fund. For example, I heard this on the travel up, and I was like, man needs to chat about this today live in Sheffield. So this result was a patchwork of provision. Was it? Wait, I've made me go wrong. Let me.
I need to write that bloke entire article.
So let me just. No, I need to go to the bits that I need to get them involved in. Consistent service.
The long and short.
So, Chief Executive of NICE expressed his disquiet, whatever that means, that patients could no longer expect a consistent service across the NHS. Instead, different clinical commissioning groups decided themselves how many rounds of IVF to fund. This is like lottery, postcode. Oh, if you don't fit, they don't like you. Maybe you annoyed them. They're not going to get. Go on, you can comment. I'll post the link. Go, brother.
You spoke of all them professors and them right intelligent people that can cut you up and fix you and shit, and
terrible.
Only one of them touched on it, and that's what I was trying to interrupt about it. I hadn't listened to that. I wouldn't even waste my time listening to that. But I can guarantee
bureaucracy.
That they don't go on about
inaction.
How you've got to look at why NHS is going. It's been milked, yeah. You pay your money from your wages.
Yeah, it's not free. It's not
for
free
that service. you expect that service, but it's
Simmer.
been you don't get that service. No, it's just as simple, plain and simple. You pay for it, but you don't
You don't have
get
to
it.
shout at them.
It's supposed to be
Passion,
free.
passion.
You know, what do you mean
Simmer.
passion? It's just passion. That's
I know,
all.
I know,
It's
I'm
a
saying.
fucking horrendous
Blinded.
listening to that. It's just fucking.
You know, like Hitler, he starts off
No,
fighting and
I'm
then
not
starts fighting and
starting
it's
Hitler.
like,
It's just unbelievable. It's just, you are. That's what I mean. But it's unbelievable.
carry on, I like it,
They just fucking. You know, the pharmaceutical industry is milking it dry. There's no more milk to come. You know what I mean? And now they're selling it off, and everything you're gonna pay. It's gonna be like America people. You don't. I remember seeing that
Insurance
kid.
policy.
There was a kid who was going to high
Yes.
school every day, going to high school every day. Nobody knew, yeah. Basically, his mum had got cancer. Happy family. I think they were him and his brother and father and mother. House, everything going swimmingly. She got cancer, yeah. This is what happens when you don't have an NHS. You know what I mean? All right. You let that go, you just fucking, unbelievable. But yeah. So this kid, it turns out that they're homeless. And he was sleeping on different couches and shit, and everyone found out. And but he was turning up for his education, every day. So his mum got ill. They had to sell house. Cost them about 100 grand or more. She died anyway because it's not a cure. It's just fucked up fucking.
Yeah, we don't get cures. No
cures.
cures. No cures here.
So
no cures.
And that's the kind of shit that happens. It's pharmaceutical industry. They're just milking it and milking it.
We know that. They know that. Everyone
They'll
can see it.
prescribe you a drug
to
to fix one thing, but that drug gives you 6 other problems.
Side effects aren't really side effects. They're planned in there. They're not side
well,
effects.
it's not that. They're effects. They're effects.
They're planned, yeah. They're not side effects, yeah.
You know what I mean? They're effects.
They're deliberate. Some might argue.
But
Lowering,
it's just garbage in, garbage out. These people are clever.
Garbage
and they
in,
know,
garbage
and
out.
you know these
That's
people
good.
that are having this thingy and this debate and this thing, they're all getting paid by somebody. So they're not going to say what they truly want to say. They're not going to say, fuck, this is bollocks, fucking pharmaceutical. No, because they're all being groomed by them.
Lobbyists.
The doctors and all that, when they go through university, they get invited to all these luncheons
Holiday?
and all these
Meeting
things
in Mexico?
and it's all
See you in
paid
Mexico.
for by pharmaceutical industry.
See you in
You
Cancun.
see how money corrupts every aspect. Every aspect.
Have you ever been on a speedboat?
All aspects.
Have you ever wanted a yacht?
Legal system. That's why people.
Do you remember? Can I just butt in? Do you remember when we was a youth with them and we used to buy the 10-pack or the 20-pack and you'd get your embassy point and you got your embassy catalogue. And if you knew a lot of smokers, you might be able to save up 65. It's like a bit like on Phone Jacker, where he says, "Good afternoon," and he wants the clean the bank account because there's a pigeon in it, and he says, "Give me your bank account details. You've won the Ugandan lottery, and you've got 64 million Ugandan dollars." And then she goes, "How much is that? Is that in pounds, please?" And he goes, "Here, it's £4.60." She goes, "No, I don't want to give my details out. I'll let the prize go." And he's like, "Oh, are you sure?" So focus points, 64 million focus points got you like some. What did it? Do you remember? And Green Shield, they were about at the time. If you're a Green Shielder, when Happy Shopper was going downhill, but I digress. You collected up a lot of them. You didn't get very much. Do you remember this?
That's the money. Look at places when you go places, other countries, and that it's unbelievable.
You collect up these, and it's like an
people
exchange
come and
system.
work here.
Unfair exchange systems is what we're looking at.
5 years with
It's
Turkish
unfair.
guys. They work here for 5 years,
Unfair.
and it's 20 years wages. I remember back in the 90s, there were bricklayers going out to Germany, working for 6 months, and they wouldn't work when they were in England for 6 months. The one lad, if you didn't see him, it means he'd run out of money and he were off to Germany.
There are systems out there. We know what they're running like, and we know what they design like. We've exposed what it is now, and there is a choice. There is a management system there. We can what they didn't count upon is that man would remember who he is, and man would remember his dominion for one, his rights for two, and his supremacy of all. And when you know that in the human rights, it does say in the articles that humans are allowed to have persons, and you allow persons because God is not a respecter of persons. You should never be a person. It's written in the coded book they call the Bible. In the King James especially is an interesting one. There's a lot of remedy in there for sure, and it's like there's an instrumentation here, but they tried to teach us it at Sunday school. Well, you might argue we was having Sunday school forced upon us when we was youth, and There was messages there, but they weren't the right messages, and it was all, you know, hidden away. They're not like easy to read messages, but once you sit down and you cipher the code out, and you sit there and you look at the courts and you look at the language and you listen to what others have got to say and you interact, it's surprising how it lifts off the page and you see the subtext underneath.
Just
The subtext is it's not fair at all.
If you're not
we don't
religious,
agree with it.
if you're not religious, if you're not religious, but if you are computer minded, I know bugger all about computers, but mainly what I know about computers is what I've learned about the human brain and the mind and the subconscious and everything. So yeah, let's say you're not religious. There's certain rules, like if you drop something, it's going to go down. It's not going to go up. It's always going to go down. There's certain rules, and they were figured out and incorporated into all religions. And they could have just told it rules. They said, don't do that. You know what I mean? If you hurt somebody, hurt's coming
Well, that's
to
giving
you.
You the power, though.
You know, if you're thinking, and you know, so they do everything, and you follow them rules, and you brought up a Christian or a Muslim or whatever, you know, and you're doing good and everything, and you go, look at that, God's blessing me, you know. So it might be a God, it might be the God that set them rules out. I'm not saying they're into God. I'm just saying if you don't believe in a God, there are these rules.
7 is the mark of God, apparently. Number
there
7.
There are these rules that I wouldn't know about such.
I posted a link. It's in the video, and the link, if you watch that video, it's in there. It tells you about the Palladians, and because 7 days in the week, 7 something, 7 whatever in the old it says in the cave paintings there was the Palladians come from a place where there's more than 7 stars, but there's depicted on astrological 7, the Anunnaki, the Nephilim, the something about, there's loads in it to do with number 7, the points of a geometrical shapes and the geometric, the cymatics, the frequencies of such things, not the frequency 7, but the candle, the Jewish thing where they've got that, what's that candle called? Wait, because like there was one in the middle, there's one in the middle, then there's 6, so there's 3 and 3, there's 3 and 3, so the 6 and the 1, 7, but the special one has 9. They've changed this candle and that, so yeah, the tree of life in the mathematics and that number 7 is like I would argue that mathematics is the science of nature, with 5 Fibonacci and pi, but 7 is in one of them video links. It says is a link to God. But can we just say 7-year itch to Chill Star Blu-ray has dropped in. Stuart Richardson, Guy Fawkes is needed with Robin Hood, of course, anymore. Snafu and Blu-ray. Hello, Gumshoe.
Not Guy
Dean
Fawkes.
Yates, easy now. Well done. And for finding us, Snafu says BBC, all lies. Take a closer look at Alternative View YouTube run by Ian R. Crane. They do one every year. This year was the 9th one. It's all there. Okay, nice one. Blu-ray says, I would say it's about time people educated themselves on healing their own bodies and going on more holistic route. Our body is the temple.
No, that's Hippocrates. He said, the father of modern medicine said, let food be your medicine, and medicine be your food. So what can we suckling on this tea to the pharmaceutical industry for? I don't know. I went for blood tests because they were having some, I went to immunology department and having these blood tests and that. And she wanted to give me some Puritan, this doctor, some Puritan. And I said to her, it was just a simple thing. I said, I don't like taking pharmaceutical products. If you could tell me the chemical that I need, I can find, and also if you could tell me what food contains said chemical, I'll incorporate that into my diet. And she looked at me like a, you know,
what?
Proper foreign.
Klingon?
You know, she were mental. But yeah, so in space, you can just take Puritan. That's all she said. She kept saying, you can just take Puritan. Yeah, but you can just take Puritan. Yeah, but you can just. Anyway, I had to go and wait for some blood tests. And in space, me waiting for blood tests, I found a Cornell University study about onions containing histamines, or is it antihistamines?
Yeah.
And anti-cancer, this, that, and other. And I'm like, oh my God, why don't these people know anything? They just know what, they just know the, here you go, tablet.
In olden days, they used to pay folk with bags of onions or onions, and they also used to chop them in half and put them on your sock. Did they not there?
It said about you
onion, and you used to draw it into your body, and it takes it in. And
they were held in that high regard. You could pay your rent with it. That's what it said in medieval times. You know what I mean? Comfort rent, there's about 3 bags of onions, all right.
Imagine that now.
You know.
Do you think this is a
But you
takeaway?
can't go into a barter system. People mistake me when they say get rid of money system. Think you going into a barter system. It's not. It's just you use all this technology that's around us to go, to just achieve the highest possible production standards.
Oh,
Telling me, no, it's laughing a minute. On you, golden shower live.
no, it's too much for Tube.
Too
Too much for anybody.
much for. I was
Too much
about
for
to
me.
say.
Persona, mask, person, enslaved. Yes, alias John. And my farts come out like. What are you on about here, John? I went for a
Talk
blood
about me
test as
lowering
well.
bloody.
He went for a blood test as well. I know, mate. Came back, rah rah rah. 7 chakra. Oh yes, no, 7 chakras as well. 7 of 9. I've got a bow and stop it. How much did the atom get?
Dead
from
and
its
lost at
particle?
sea, and you've got till you're 7 to declare yourself alive. Why should I have to do that? That's just a fucking joke. Who's running this shit? Who's making this up?
Barber tried to
7-year-olds.
steal it. Barber tried to steal it and stop people getting it. The usual, if it works, get it off the market. A bit like the what? The Graviola. 40 years of research, I heard you say. 40 years of research by a company. 40 years. Now that's a lot of
Shit
money.
a brick when I saw that.
40 years. Go on.
40 years.
40 years.
Graviola. I don't know.
Listen.
It might be a silent G, but it's like raviola. But
I'll paste the link.
There is
I'll
a
get
G
it.
there.
I'll get the video.
Apparently, it's a
Come
member
on.
of crabapple family tree, and it grows in tropical climates. And it's
Matthew,
got
you
like
need to look for the thumbnail.
I think it's got like a spiky thing, but it's got a little. It's like a fruit.
There we go.
You can
Which
eat the
one
fruit.
is the video? Look,
I'm not too sure, but you can eat the fruit. You can eat the fruit,
Rainforest
and it's
grapefruit.
got like a little banana in it. But it's
Okay.
best eaten just before bed because it's got slight sedative thingy. So yeah, you imagine a company spending 40 years researching this plant, yeah. So that's all the researchers, the wages, the equipment, everything. How much is that? That's a lot of pennies, isn't it? A lot of wages, because I don't think laboratory researchers work for now. And so they tried to patent it, and they went, no, it grows in no tropical forests, it grows everywhere, it's found in nature, you can't patent nature. So they tried to synthesize the chemical, they couldn't do that. So in the end, they went, oh. And instead of going, right, here you go, the world, they just put it on a shelf. And it only got released because one of the researchers, it didn't sit well with them that they'd spent 40 years finding out that this thing kicks cancer's arse.
Got it.
And so what he did was he dumped it all on the internet, all research stuff and that. It's not, there's many different cures for cancer. It's just...
Guana in English, sour soup. That doesn't sound too appetizing here. When you say the Spanish name, the Brazilian Portuguese, graviola, the English translation, they're all referring to the exact same fruit. Chances are, though, if you live in the States, United, you haven't heard of any of those names. Don't expect to find it for sale at Walmart. Not even grocers with an organic emphasis like Whole Foods sell it. Where you can buy sour sop in the US is often limited to Asian and Latin, a bit like the Turkish and the Arabic we have over here. You can only find the good stuff in the...
picture again.
This little pineapple. It's like a little... It looks like a... What would you call it? A horse chestnut.
It looks like
a spiky
It
man's...
looks like a misshapen
spiky man's...
conker. It looks like a misshapen conker. It looks like a conker that started growing like a dobber.
In the Philippines, they call it yet another name, guyabano. In addition to using the raw pulp in recipes, making herbal tea with the leaves is a popular beverage.
The leaves contain it as well. Yeah,
you can eat the fresh white pulp inside, or the nectar can be turned into juice, punch, and desserts like ice cream. There are many culinary uses. Whatever form you fancy, what are the health benefits of guanabana? We will go over them, but first let's address the elephant in the room. Lately, there's been a lot of controversy about it allegedly being good for cancer. One major nutritional website claims it's what Big Pharma doesn't want you to know about, and a herbal remedy website implies there is strong evidence it may be an alternative treatment. We all know that THC and cannabinoids are quite a good treatment for cancer, and also Rick Simpson, was it, bringing that out years ago? And alkaline, is it? Alkalinity is good for cancer, is it? Baking soda, molasses. What else do you know? What else? Ground up seed, Gerson,
diet,
Dr. Sebi,
and also Dr. Royal Raymond Rye. when you take your missus or if you have an ultrasound scan at an hospital, those machines cannot be sold with a dial so they can be tuned to different frequencies. And that is because I don't know if you were a doctor, but Royal Raymond Rife in the 1920s was creating and building the most advanced microscopes of the day. So he was like on it. He was building
Rubicon.
the best.
Do the guana banana drink. Rubicon.
The best. No.
So I bet that'll have Dean, I'm sorry to put in, but if Rubicon do the juice, guana banana, you can bet your bottom dollar what will they have extracted from it. All the active ingredients, sucralose, fructose.
I've seen one like it.
Rubicon. It doesn't contain sucrose or fructose because I've drank it before, and I think that's probably why Dean's a drinker. Some of them are quite normal.
And I think I know which one he means. I didn't think it was that now.
There's a white one, a blue one, a red one, a yellow one.
It's a pink one. I think he's on about.
We can always do a search. It doesn't matter. Let's say they do. Well, let's hope they've left the active ingredient in, because what we need to find out is the active ingredient, things like that. Not that it's a miracle. It's silver water,
B17.
copper water, B17. Is that what it is in it? In the
same thing that's in apricot seeds. The apricot seeds. It's same thing that's in fucking apple seeds. You know, they say don't eat apple seeds. It's got arsenic in it. It has got arsenic in it.
We have
it's
questions.
It's arsenic. Molecule is bonded to another one, so it can't do.
Like the apple seed.
And the cancer goes hello, and it goes. But yeah, there's loads. But yeah, Royal Raymond Rife, he made he got 400, I think 500 cancer patients in 20s that had been told to write the wills. That's your game over.
The hospital
wrote off by medical establishment.
There we go. We go.
Yeah, they.
Royal
I
Raymond
think it was 484 or 400 and something. He did straight away, and then the others he had to like tweak his machine. He was able to use ultrasound to found the frequency of cancer cells, and he just blasted the fuckers without damaging any other cells in the human body. There's a bloke in Russia that cuts people open, and I think he used alkaline bicarbonated soda, and he just puts it on the tumor. There's loads of different cures. There's loads.
We've got questions from the Mad Wizard of Oz. What first woke you guys up?
I've been awake since a nipper.
But what first? Come on, think, focus. Was it that little? You had a little premonition.
I had experiences. I don't know which came first, but I had experiences. And my relatives passing away, it makes you think. I had a couple of weird ones when my grandma passed, but I remember I was at my mate's, and his phone rang, and I went to it. We were upstairs, and I heard his phone ring, and I went, my grandma's just died, and he went, don't say that. And then he went downstairs. His mum shouted him. He went downstairs, and then he shouted me down, and she went, your mum's just phoned. She says, can you go home? And I went, I told you. But yeah, there were weird things like that. But the main one was
that's connectivity. That's fearing the worst.
There was one. There was one sat in a thingy. But I remember when I was younger, I was looking at Nostradamus and stuff like that. Everyone, but yeah, the graveyard one was the weirdest. There was about 8 or 9 or 10 of us, and bearing in mind, a family grave were about 40 meters away. I don't know if that's any relevance, but basically it was dark. We were only about 14, 15. And back in them days, you used to have what were called park patrol. They weren't police. They were just two blokes on big crosses with like luggage things, and they told you to jog on. And you went get fucked. Yeah. So I'm sat there, and I think there was 2 kids on a motorbike. I think they were having relays, and yeah. So my friend was stood in front of me smoking a cigarette. And I sat down on a gravestone, and I closed my eyes, and while my eyes were closed, I watched him flick his tab and walk from my right to my left. So when I opened my eyes, I expected him to still be on my right, and when I opened my eyes, he was on my left, and then like what? And then I got a dodgy feeling in between, and I was like, ooh, and he's like, what's up with you? I'm like, I don't know. And basically, I just got a dodgy feeling and like an ominous feeling, and I was like, we've got to go. And he's like, wow, what's up? And I'm like, I don't know, but we've got to go. So I'm walking backwards at this time. He's following me. Everyone's going, what's up? And I'm saying around and say, we need to go. And everyone were laughing at me. Anyway, me and my mate, he came with me, and we got quite away, a bit away. And then we heard this like, and then we saw these lights. And it was Parkies, and we had already had a good head start, and everyone else was running. And we got away, and everyone were like freaked out, looking at me, going, "How did you know they were coming?" And I was like, "Don't know." So yeah, but shit like that happens, and you think, "I don't know. Actually, I don't know what I don't know." But look into that. But yeah, it makes you think stuff like that, and it makes you just yeah. But I've always looked into stuff. I bought books about
I've got a
cults
story.
and just weird stuff.
I watched Jim Morrison film The Doors when I was about 15 and 3/4, and then we might have gone to a field and found some mushrooms that day, and watched Jim Morrison, and then we might have taken the mushrooms whilst watching Jim Morrison The Doors, and then we went out that night, and the night was opened up to us. The world actually started to breathe. It started to move. I saw faces in stuff. I didn't have a bad time. I had the most excellent time ever. I was like, whoa. So there's patterns in things that you didn't know there was patterns in. I looked up, saw all the connecting patterns of stuff. I was like, what's all that? In between the stars, there are lines and there are energies, and you're like, obviously you're still in the eyes of the law. You're a juvenile. You're not, legally responsible. Well, I told my mother, she was very good at the time. Don't worry. I was out camping. There was nothing she could have done to stop this happening because we was cunning. You know what teenagers are like. So I went out camping. And yeah, the rest is history. We collected some shrooms and we checked them all. That day was quite scary because we did think we was going to die whilst we were waiting for them to come along. That's part of being a youth and going out collecting things and brewing them up and putting them in chicken and mushroom pot noodles. But I woke up with a big bang that day. I was like, whoa. We even found out so many answers to everything. We chatted nonsense for hours and hours and hours. We come back covered in dirt and just like all kind. We'd been everywhere roaming. We'd lost a couple of guys. We found them again. We'd lost time, and we just had the best night ever. And after that, we just started watching documentaries and war films and like Hamburger Hill, was it? Hamburger Hill, Platoon, the Godfather films and such things. Not like Hollywood and Maniac Cop and Freddy's that were out there. We went the other way and we started looking at that one with the boat where they fused together. That was a good one. That was a bit weird. The boat and fusing and time travel. It went there from there. Military Tesla type operation that they.
Well, everyone's seen that. That's
the Philadelphia experiment and all that. We were looking into that. Then we looked at UFOs. We started looking into the,
Well, everybody does
we didn't
that.
Have the, wait,
it's just
we didn't have at that time in 1991, approximately 92ish, and 91, because I just bought a vinyl that I remember called let me think of the vinyl, Mickey Finn, Some Justice. Rave was just breaking out, Dreamscape. So 91, there was no mobile phones, there was no internet. This was living. This was the last bit. We didn't know this was the last bit of the good times, the sacred, simple times where, the life was about to change unbeknown to us, and the Sega Mega Drive was about to become something much more powerful. Sophia, enter, singularity, quantum, wow.
What we got, the internet.
That's how I woke up, and so that was a good question. Thank you for that. Go on, Randy.
Oh no, it depends what you mean by woke up as well. It's
yeah, I woke up to the world like that way. It was amazing.
I've just always been in respect of woke up. I weren't woke up now because I was locked into you've got to do this, money, chase it, or you should have a Ferrari. That stupid dream that's put in your head with all that shit that's you're filled with from birth till finger. I once said that. I was waiting for Hollywood ending. Became, because you're not taught. Oh, and you said something about juvenile and that. Kids should be taught. You can't. There's no excuse if a child starts committing harm, injury, and that. They need to be taught from an early age. Yeah. It's not like, oh, he's just a kid. Yeah. No, he's just broke his leg, or he's just, lobbed a brick at him. That's a brick. Could have killed him.
The bulges,
that's what I'm about to say, because that's what that leads to stuff like that, and then you know what I mean. And they go, oh, no.
Loads of it, horrendous crimes and
stuff
things
should
that
be
happen.
taught to people. But
when our property is 2 and they start saying why a lot, mums and dads out there, you'll remember or you'll be coming up to it if you've got younger offspring in the dwelling, in the property. You know, why? But why, Dad? But why? I'll just sit there and watch TV. What did we say about that when we discuss? What does man do?
Well, it's
when,
not
instead
that.
of feeding,
Everybody
we distract
is
and we
the
program
thing.
with the
I say to,
Teletubbies or
well, I
something,
say to
Peppa
people,
Pig, or you know.
I say to people, did your mum and dad ever say this? I don't know where he's got that from. He didn't get that from me, or she.
Yes.
And it's because they put you in front of a TV to program you, see. So you took some things from your parents and your family around. But if you were a kid who were in, that's what TV's there for. Jesuits used to say, give me a child until it's 6 and 7, and it's it'll be with church for the rest of its life. And that's why, like I see sometimes Muslim men and that taking the kids and they teach them Quran, after school and that. They have to teach it them. It don't come naturally to them. They have to program them that, and that's why they become Muslims. And you take a kid and teach him Bible, they'll become this, and or Hindu, or So you're programmable, and that's you're essentially, I forgot what brainwave it is. You essentially just a recorder. You're just recording, and that's where you get all your actions from.
Subconscious and conscious as well.
Say,
both.
That's why people say to people, oh, you see something, and they do something that the father or the mum does, and they're like, oh, you're just like your mum, or you're just like,
habits,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're like,
habits,
what? No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Yeah, family traits,
you were brought
genes,
up with, and that's
habits,
where you're going to get that stuff.
Sayings.
It's your environment that gives all that. Nobody's born racist.
Checking door 3 times before you go to bed.
Nobody's born racist or out like that, and they did that experiment because they thought they took a Chinese baby, an English baby, and and they taught them Chinese. They both learnt at the same rate. Just because they were Chinese, they still had to learn Chinese language. You have to be programmed with whatever. Like,
If you have a golf ball-sized intelligence, you will get a golf ball-sized remedy and benefit from it. If you start expanding your intelligence and your understanding, your consciousness, your awareness, who man is, what man has got, what instrumentation, how you affect, and you look at that, who takes what liability and when, how a contract is formed, what tacit tort adhesion is, torts of misfeasance. We haven't gone to university. We haven't enlisted with any clan except ourselves, the Brotherhood. You guys out there, the master brain, tell them like the guys that you watched that's inspired you. I've got lots from this guy that I could go through, but I'll let Matt go first because he's got quite a list.
I'll put at top. Because I went looking at conspiracy theories, then I looked at conspiracy facts, whether it's admitted, and then I looked at all stuff and everything. Nobody offers solutions, and then I came across Jack Fresco. So him for me is the most influential, a gift to humanity. Fuck me. Him along with Tesla, Jesus, that's what I mean. There is no legal system in the resource-based economy.
Yeah!
You don't need it. It's all gone. You don't need to write anything down. These are our rights and this you can't. You know what I mean? It's a way of life. It's just you know what I mean? All this with NHS, it's just you have access. That's the only question, access. And the amount of, in a cyclical consumption, quantitative easing financial system, where you've just got to churn all resources up. So you've got resources being wasted on just all sorts of crap that you don't need. And like I say, even the richest person now had lived better in Venus Project, because just think it's money that slows technology and the advancement of man. If I invent something that can arrested development. That's what I said about you're chasing your tail, you're pissing in wind, you're burning your tires, you're just wheel spinning. It's like having ridiculous brake horsepower. But if I invent something that can benefit mankind, but some company, the companies buy other inventions and that, and they shelve it because they see it as a threat. What were it that bloke who invented matches that you can blow out and then relight them? And they bought his patent, and they were like, "When's it going to mint shops?" No, it's not. But so you have to face this. This is the reality. That's what I mean. You don't need a law system. You don't need all that. You just You can write as many laws as you want telling people to do things, unless you create the access for people. It's fucked. Name me one place apart from a park where you can go that's free. An odd museum.
You're free to choose what to buy, what mortgage
no,
to
you're
get,
free to go out on a Saturday to you're free to go to your nearest retail park and have a Costa coffee. Hey, get us in the kitchen, you know.
TK Maxx.
TK Maxx.
PC World.
Yeah, it's all going to be
beer everywhere, beer on every corner.
All them will disappear soon, because that'll be just restricted to internet, because they have to pay people to stand in them shops and everything. They can just, all that's going to be thinking. Look at Shop 24. It's already getting rolled out in England, I think, now. It's already in Europe. Shop 24. It's just an automated shop. There's nobody there. Might be one bloke. Check your ID. But then there's a coffee machine that reads eyes, and it can tell if you're a kid or an adult.
Right, comments.
Well,
the Zeitgeist movie was a changer, and that's how old from Stuart Richardson. Indeed. It was indeed. Yeah, he's connected. Zeitgeist is connected. Yeah, let's go through the names. Who's connected with who? In Zeitgeist, you've got a name of Peter
Joseph.
And Peter Joseph used to work with.
Well, Jack Fresco.
And Roxanne Meadows.
Yeah, but
names
Jack,
to search, guys.
I big up to.
No,
I don't.
I'm going through these. Yeah, just a quick go on.
I don't criticise yet Peter Joseph, but you know he did a good thing. He was showing you stuff that what he put at the end was Jack Fresco, and Jack Fresco was the one with the solution. You know, I think he tried to steal that. I don't know why they fell out, but either way.
Right.
You don't have to go with Venus Project either. You go with.
Let me read the comments. Remember. We know the truth is that the 1% control the 99, but it's the 91% of us that need to be made aware of this. Till then, it's an extremely big hill to climb. That's why, Dean, we're teaching you protection. We're teaching you who you are, how to safeguard, not to go out and protest. Don't go out with the pan and the spoon and make a din and a racket and cause public infractions without protecting, ring fencing your property. You knowing who you are, who's responsible for what. Don't put in, yeah, I've got loads to say. So, and with any revolution, you'll find it's only a third of the population, a third of the indigenous landmass, man, that need to act before we get a result. So go and look at Marcus Garvey. That's a big mixed bag there. But yeah, Black Revolution, Marcus Garvey. Look at Che Guevara. Look at various things. There's two ideas for you. Political factions and movements, and look how it goes. Look at what Tommy Nobinson's got going off. Look who's funding him. Somebody's making that happen, yeah? Sovereign, paralegals, Matt, Dave, Andy, everybody else. We've got no funding. We're just sat in the background, 22 watching, respect and peace and love for you on this, 20th of June at 11:45. So, yeah, we're getting it out there. We know we're not idiots. We're doing it ourselves. Watch it now and think of the wizard as a government and the rest as the enforcers. Mad Wizard of Oz, new viewer, new subscriber, brother, sister, family, extended family. Man, go check out Indigo's channel, playlist, Sovereign playlist, new videos, get back to me. In particular, I was on form on the council tax video I've done 45 minutes, probably 6 videos ago across the last week. Enjoy. Nice to meet you. Dean, unfortunately, there are too many splintered groups and remedy never found. We need a UK group, which will be hard. Dean, I present splspro.com, forum, download, messages, interaction, videos, courses, resource library, private groups, dedicated forums, an unlimited capacity, and more to be expanded, more things coming. So we're sorting that out. August the 4th, York Railway Institute to be confirmed. I may be speaking there about trust and equity and joining up with none other than the Practical Lawful Dissent, I believe the British Constitution Group, John Smith Common Law Court, and let me think of the other one now. Let me think. So that's quite a lot. There's more names. Michael O. Bernacia, however you say it. Maybe Steve McRae's a bit private. You're lucky if you get him, but the shout's gone out to him. Myself. Maybe I could try and get Richard if he's not busy. He's a private man, but Richard Ansar might want to join any of the admins, and we're going to turn around this mixed bag of constitution, common law, private, public, equity, Vatican, canons, UCC. The full works is coming out in an intellectual, calm, no egos. Come a long way since I watched Lado. at the British Constitution Group, was it 2011? Reality is an illusion. Who you showed me, John Harris. I'm like, who's this man? And he went, he knows shit. And I went, who's he? And he went, this is John. I was like, what? John who? John who? Didn't know Jack.
You see, yeah, literally.
Didn't
I'd love
know
to
Jack.
have, I'd love to have
Hey.
asked him. Do you know what I mean? Have you seen this? Because some people don't know.
Jack
I ask
Fresco?
people all the time. The thing with Venus Project, he says you need to go and watch, you know, a good few hours. You'll watch a few hours of law. You'll watch a few hours of this conspiracy. Do you know what I mean? Watch and listen what he's got to say. Cognise that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, cognise that. Watch his lectures. What the guy was doing at 100, what he was doing at 100, you can't believe. He died at 101 years old. You know, it's quite mental, to be honest. But yeah, just listen to what he says, and it's not perfect. It's not utopia. It's better than this shit, though. I can tell you that for now.
It's what we're doing here, guys, and with SPLspro.com, it's not a paid endorsement video or anything. It's our own. It's your trust. It's your domain. It's your you know, offspring, blood's future. What we're doing here is incorporating quite a lot for everybody and putting it in one place. So it's an online digital university. We have you know, we've been deceived and we need to get out of it. We need to get out of it as fast as we can. There are guys out there selling you trusts and protection and things on various formats and websites and courses for thousands of pounds. We don't see that as an equitable remedy, do we? If you have to pay thousands of pounds to get out of this crap and these chains.
I only see one remedy.
Ugh.
You know me, I only see one remedy, and people, it is like a religion, and to me, because else is just, it's like, I don't know. It's like driving a Trabant, all due respect to Trabant drivers. It's like driving a Trabant when you could take a Bugatti Veyron out every day. Why would you drive a Trabant? Why would you do it?
Why would you?
Got a Bugatti Veyron there. Why are you driving that bag of shit?
Classic character.
Breaks down every time you take it out.
Style.
You know, no, it's just yeah, there's just no excuse. But yeah, if you like what it's about, crack on and tell people, because it's all of us that's got to demand it. People need to, and we will be doing one soon. We will be going to, you know, all that letters that come through your letterbox saying, come and have a chat with these MPs. Well, we're going to go and have a chat with some of these MPs and just ask them some questions, simple questions from simple folk. You know, but nobody wants to work in a factory. People want to go out mountain biking, climbing mountains, learning, you know, educating themselves. Imagine a martial artist from a working class background that has to go to work and then spends the rest of his time practicing his martial art. All he wants to do is practice martial art. Yeah. So why not just let him practice martial art? There's only so many people. All technology that is operating now at this present day is just happening around most people. Most people don't, including myself, you know, don't know how it works. It just happens around them, you see. There's only a handful of people that invent it and bring it out and kick it out anyway, you know, compared to how many people are actually on planet using said technology that's invented. So, most of them people that invent these things as well do it because they want to. They're not really paid to invent something. They're like doing something what they love to do, and they're like, "Ooh, look at that, boom, that's very good." And you think that'd be useful to anyone? Yes, I think it would. It will be very good. So yeah, that 15-year-old kid that invented that new cancer detection thing that was something like 99% more accurate or faster or something daft than conventional methods. He did that because he liked doing that kind of stuff. So other people will just mountain bike and do whatever they want to do, travel. You know, you can be in it halfway. You'll be able to just get around the world in an hour. You know.
Declaring the world's resources common heritage and a non-sectarian universal remedy for all is what I was going to say earlier that I forgot about, which is what we're doing here.
It's practical application of all the religious values plus the law of attraction plus
logical.
It's common law. That's why I said everyone. You go back to common law, and from common law, common heritage. You know?
Yeah, joining together to get
and our stupid, abhorrent behaviour will be bred out. There won't be, all due respect to yourself and all yourselves, there won't be people like that in future. They'll look back, and kids at future will look back and they'll be like, Jesus, couldn't you see? Why didn't you do it? How come? Why did it? What? As soon as you got to that stage of technology, you should have just ditched. You know what I mean? Yeah, but they were bankers and politicians, and they did have a lot of shiny things. Yes. Everybody likes shiny things. That's how they get you with shiny things. Distracting you. That's why people say about flat Earth.
What? Nobody says anything.
Some people do. I'm just saying all these things are distractions. We'll talk about that at a later date when we're all united.
Let's find some music. What else can we talk about? The words. The Mad Wizard of Oz. Dean, we don't want a revolution. That means to go around. We need a resolution, remedy, resolution, redress, rescind.
Yeah, I don't want no. Don't make nobody. We don't need no riots. We just go to these people, so-called politicians, and we demand. You ask them what you stand for, and you find someone who stands. Basically, you need to fight. You need a politician that wants to fight for the very thing that he is, a politician, to not exist anymore. Try and find one of them, because that's what you need to go up into, you know what I mean, and say, I'm willing to bring this to the table. That's what I'll work for. Essentially, I'll work for my job to end. Because then he's freed up. All these politicians know, I know they do all anyway, and most of the time they're doing what they want to do anyway. They're living in this their own resource-based economy, basically, at the moment, if you've got loads of money. Living it. But when you're kids, when I grew up, they were 18, and you could collect all figures, and I only got BA Baracas, and everyone else got most of the full kit out, plus the 18 van. But I used to get to play with all the rest of them, because kids who I used to play with, they used to share with me. So they shared their resources with me, and I just had BA Baracas, but I shared my resources with them, and we all played together. That's why when you tell kids, share, share. No, hey, what are you doing? Don't be greedy, share with him, you know. So when you're kids, you're in resource-based economy, just limited to resources, to how rich you are. Grew up in a rich area. Lots of resources. Grew up on a council estate, you know, how many. But yeah, I'm just.
I'm on Windows a minute. I'm just sorting out audio. Some kind of codec problem when I play. Sound very good. Trying to play some music. All music brokers.
Need questions.
Questions are here. Thinking about building a spaceship out of the lava. It's good to have some magical properties, bro. Stay alive after it pops out the wee hole. Have you heard of Gary Squires or Joe Turney or Alfie Lewis from Snafu? Blu-ray's off to bed. Good night, brother. Peace and love. Why do monkeys not change to humans? Yeah, good question. Missing link.
There's no such thing as evolution. It's
you
just
only
a theory.
have one life. It's up to you what you fill it with. Snafu Blu-ray. Remembering you're going to die is the best way. I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart. Apparently that was from Steve Jobs. Okay, John. I was there, a first person to teach the very first martial artist, and help at the very first person martial arts modern world.
Quality. Go on, lad.
The sovereign network of sentient beings is coming. SPL's pro all the way. Get in Blu-ray. I navigate my vessel in dry dock. John M. Yes, you do. You navigate your iron horse and vessel in dry dock. The Mad Wizard of Oz. R.I.P. for John. Yes, brother. Peace and love. Or sister. Wizards are men, no aren't they? Take over the NHS. Pay the debt off and the bills to the government with the Bills of Exchange Act. Go on, John. 1882. And Consumer Credit Act 1974. Section 5, paragraph 2, section 1, 2, 3, paragraph 5, something like that. 1974 by the NHS Sovereign Growth introduced natural remedies. Go on, lad. We like that, don't we? Chilster. strong injections. Telly, if they could, they would. Yes, they would, wouldn't they? I like
They
that.
do.
That's called what's that language called when you speak with the pictography?
If they could, they would. They do.
Hey up, look inside yourself, see what you see. If you don't like what you see, you will not travel there again. Look within. Yes, Snafu. Wizard. Well, already done, my mate. Followed for a while, just not caught you live. Oh, look at that. They're nice. Good to know. Stuart, longest day tomorrow, guys. Solstice, somebody say. Maybe. Mad Wizard, don't get me started on Tommy Nobinson. Or Tommy is put, I added Nobinson. John, colonies become companies, empires as corporations set up a new colony.
See, you've got to be careful with them EDL boys.
Blu-ray, the journey starts with self and can only start there. It's politics. Alias, TV, the drug of a nation. Oh, yes. Ray, the sovereign network is coming during everyone.
See,
in unity, Ubuntu.
Can I just have
That's
a thingy
Michael
there?
Tellinger.
Can I just have a little thingy there? Because it says about TV.
We've caught up. We've caught up.
There's another piece of technology that could have been used from the very outset, but just goes to show you how technology is used against you. You think you like watching TV, but you're bred to like watching TV. Now, whether you like that or not, sorry to offend, but you are. And
we are. We was.
Yeah. Well, that's
Star
what
Wars.
I say. But what I'm saying is that could have been used to educate people from the start. It could have been used as an educating tool, but from governments to just broadcast education into people's homes and that. But it didn't. It just got used. Mind your bum bum. But Ubuntu is Venus Project. That's what
Similar,
it is.
very similar.
No,
isn't
it is.
Yeah.
That's where its fundamentals come from. Ubuntu comes from a tribe, and it says if it's not good for everyone, it's not good. Yeah, that's where that's the Venus resource-based economy came from when he went to see tribes that had not been touched by white man and West yet, and they were how they worked, you know. And he said, "Builders, can you build me a canoe?" No, first he got there, he'd already asked. He said, "What did it?" He said, "They go crazy for mirrors and beads, shiny things and that, you know." So he took a rucksack full, and when he got there, he'd only been here 5 minutes. And from his culture, they basically ransacked his sack, and they were like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" And they were like, "You got too many." Yeah, basically, they didn't understand straight away, and they were like, "You got too many." And after a couple of days, he saw 2 boats pulling fish in off at beach, and they were just throwing him to whoever was there. And then he asked them to build if they could build him a canoe. And after a few days, he put one outside his hut. And he didn't use it straight away. So after about 4 days, he heard rustling, and they were taking it away. And he said, "Well, what are you doing? That's my thing." And he said, "No, you're not using it." So that's when he grasped that concept of, you know, not using it. You just share stuff, and if everything's everybody's, everybody respects it, treats it nice. You see these bikes that are all over the place. Where you can download, you get that app, and then you can access them. They're getting smashed up all over because they don't own that. In a resource-based economy, then bikes would be mint, pristine. You'd see people fettling them, you know, cleaning them. But it'd be their bike. Every bike would be their bike.
I'm looking at just audio sounds while you're chatting. Isn't it caught up? We can finish now if you think there's not more you need to say, speak of.
But
battery is low, 15%. Your thing's not plugged in. Oh, we do need to finish. Look at that. Time is actually ending.
No, you've not plugged it in.
So we'll end it there. What? In.
It's plugged in my laptop.
Oh, wait there. We've got 15%. But this was slow charge it. That's the thing. Because it's on laptop. Watch. Give it some juice.
Oh, no, I want to see comments. I want to know what people think about these things. I don't see anybody talking about these things. I'm just an uneducated fella, I say.
We don't know nothing in the grand scheme of things, do we?
But things need to be talked about, how to get that, you know, once you demand stuff. But people will go, "Oh, well, how are you going to do that without the money?" So that's what I mean. You guys are intelligent people. I'm sure of it. Should you think about it? You know, how do you reduce people working 5 days to just one? By taking people out of job centres and putting them in that, you know, them other 4 days. So then people in them job centres are also only working 1 day. You know, and how are you going to do that? That's what you need to work to. That's what all these Donald Trump should be talking about, and all these people, Johnson, Boris, Eaton boys, clever people, but they're not. Why aren't they?
Yes.
Why aren't they? They don't want to give it up. I think they're going to be worse off, but they're not. Have a look at it. Have a look at it. Look at automation. Look at Volkswagen. We've got little factories.
Look at Alfa Romeo and the little man coming out the snake.
No, they look at
Disturbs me.
Look at Volkswagen factories making the automated robots, making the motors for these new electric hybrids.
I don't know what you mean.
Motors threading, little robots threading intricate wires like.
Oh yeah,
you'd never know.
Yeah.
You make a machine do anything. So why are we doing all this shit?
Why are we?
Why? That's the question. Why? People need to ask it. Why? Just for a picture, piece of paper, a picture. It's not even paper now. It's plastic, and they'll get rid of that. So then they don't have to do out. They just say, "Yeah, you owe us some money." What? Yeah, we gave your government 150. Well, we typed it in this computer, and it appeared in your government's account. Now they've got to give us more than that back. We're the only ones that are allowed to type the numbers. But did you type some digits?
No, wasn't me.
No. Exactly. Bullshit. Oh, way.
Smells like.
What is it? Every day. Every day.
Don't touch yourself on
Every
camera.
day. I'm not touching myself on camera. I'm brushing some ash off my legs. Every day you get up and you go to work and it's basically it's an insult and a spit in your face. Why didn't you move that forward? So you could relax. Yeah. Every day you get up and you go to work. It's just you better remember to wipe that spit off your face.
Why? What spit?
Because it's just an insult to your existence. You weren't created to get up and go to work every day and slave away and go, well, come on, worry about bills. And go, I've got to pay that. Oh, I've got to do more hours now, more slavery.
I need a second job.
And never, ever have a life. And then by the time you're 60 odd and, I'm retired. That's right, you know what I mean? I can't believe people allowed that. That's something in the NHS. I remember a bit back. People, I think it was 70 or something, they were asked, the doctors were asking the patients, 70-year-old or so, to sign a form that said basically, if it happens, you go into hospital, don't resuscitate me. Fucking hell, why would, you know what I mean? That's because that system, through the mechanism of government and the people that run it, the bankers, the money, the people that are the owners of the entire thing, and then their puppet masters, the government and the politicians, and how it goes through. And that goes down to a doctor. And them doctors didn't turn around and say, fuck off. I'm not asking somebody to sign something, saying, I don't give a fuck how old they are, 103. Yeah. Can you just sign this? Just basically, we just can't be asked to do it. If you just fucking start like going, we're just going to like leave you. You know, if you sign this extra tick, we'll actually suffocate you. If we think you're in a bit of pain, you know, fucking hell. No, that's not what you. Basically, that system saying anybody that's not of use might be a drain on it, might need some services that they've paid for all their life, paid in for. They might need a bit of that coming back. No. Rather up in retirement age, so you just go, woo, retired, and you go, oh, dead. Because of all stress and graft that you've done. So think about these things. Talk about these things. Comments. I want to know if it's just me. Is it just me? Is it just me? Am I the only one with rather shitting my hands in the clap? But this is what you see. You know what I mean? A lot of people say, oh, top your saying and that. And, you know, that's what the system wants you to do. Yeah. Them that go along with it will go along with it. Them that won't will top themselves. Well, I say no to that. I say, get fucked. I say, I'm here. I'm stopping. You know, and I'm not going, but I'm not going to, you know, you're going to say I've got to do this, but I'm going to say, no, I haven't. Some said, some Pope many years ago, or some Brian.
Bull papilla. You don't know about the bull papilla.
Nobody. That's what I mean. We shouldn't be living like this. We should not be living like this.
I'm tired. I need to go. We need to wrap up. We do actually need to wrap up, though.
I'm just waiting for what you're doing.
I don't know where it's gone.
It's coming.
I've lost us.
Keep coming.
My
See, I'm
audio's
checking
gone.
out. It's coming. It should be really coming.
Oh.
They all gone out. Everyone got home.
Gone in, taking the ball home. Here we go.
Everyone's gone home.
Sometimes man is needed to do certain jobs from Chilster.
Oh, yeah.
Facebook.
Engineers. Engineers all day, every day. It's engineers we rely
Do you know
upon.
anybody who makes web pages? Yes, Greg can have a look at that snafu there. Look above you with the G. I have never seen a machine wallpapering.
Big up, G. Big G.
Never seen a machine wallpapering or cutting hair.
No, you're right there, actually. No, I don't know about wallpaper, but you wouldn't want wallpaper because it sets fire to you. You want an house that doesn't burn, but you're right there. No, there is. If you watch Will Work for Free, the only thing that can't be automated is hairdressing. But people would enjoy that anyway, wouldn't they? So I say, all crafts, all creative stuff, people would be just, yeah, they're just so creative. It'd be unbelievable.
Unbelievable, Matthew.
But yeah, it's like this is what I was going to say. I'll leave you with this. When I was young, I used to see, and I'm 42. Oh, don't tell anybody. But yeah, when I was young, I used to see the old Live Aid and all these kids starving in Africa and that, and I've seen it all my life, and I'm 42. So yeah, and I remember when I first saw Venus Project, and I was like, oh, fuck me, that's it. So that's needless. That were needless. All them kids, because he brought that idea forth in 1974. So therefore, all them kids that's died all that time, you know, it's quite horrific. Needlessly dying, you know, just because of redistribution. Think about this, then you can get a rocket to blow up on any coordinates on the face of this planet, flat Earth, whatever they want to call it, whatever they subscribe to. But yeah, but you can't get food there. Bullshit. Bullfucking shit.
Get a rocket there, though.
Get a rocket there. Coordinates, latitude. Yeah. Boom. Can you get against this Cornish pasta here? No. I'm sure it'd be easier to get a pasta there or something like that, you know, some food there. I'm sure it'd be a lot cheaper, no? No.
We know this.
No, the people that rule you would rather put depleted uranium in a bomb and drop it.
All right, let's go on that note. Nice one. Thank you, guys. Peace and love. I'm out the screen.
Why?
So, ciao. Ciao for now.
Goodbye, everybody. Dave, you thumb.
I have to.
I can't. I've got a dodgy finger.